I can't stick around super late afterwards. So.
Okay, you can just let us know whenever you need to go.
Cool.
Okay, we are starting up our Zoom meeting for YouTube, redirecting to YouTube, which means we are live. We are live.
Yay.
And episode 46. This is awesome. This is amazing, and I love it. So welcome everybody. My name is Sean Simons, PPG Grandpa. Look at everyone that we have here today. Let me introduce everyone. And if you have some .com or something you want to shout out, you're more than welcome. We'll start off over here at Linda Anderson. She is our cheerleader. Welcome. Do you have any .coms that you want to throw out there, Linda?
Yeah. I'm Linda Anderson. I'm the paramom of Robert Michaels, who is from San Diego, who is the host of paraglidingtalk.com on Thursday night.
Woohoo! All right. And we have our tech guy, the guy that does everything behind the scenes, and the only guy that I know that has thrown a reserve, and it was not in an SIV course. JP Tula, what's up, my brother?
What's going on, guys? Always a pleasure to be here. Check me out on Instagram and YouTube as JP Tula. That's all I got.
All right,
Let's share this real quick. Go ahead.
All of our .coms and everything that we're talking about will be in the description here in just a few minutes as soon as I put them there. So welcome. And of course, we have our very own Brian Hey Bell Waller. What's up, my brother?
Hey.
How's it going, guys? How's it going tonight, everybody?
We are doing fantastic. I'm doing fantastic.
Hey,
Yeah.
you put out a new video this morning, didn't you, Brian?
Yeah, I've been playing around some new Adobe Pro Premiere software.
It looked good. It
for
looked
the
good.
first time, and so hopefully the quality of my videos will get a little bit better, not just cut and paste clips. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, if anybody in the chat gets a chance, going over to Brian Waller's his channel on YouTube and check it out. I was very amused with it. So
Yeah, we had a good time down at Swanee. I ended up putting out a bunch of different videos from it, and then I went to Aviator and I had a good time there. So there's more videos coming. Y'all can look me up on YouTube, Brian Waller, or Facebook, Instagram, Brian Waller 31. So check it out for sure.
Woohoo! All right, we got Never Trust the Skinny Chef Shane, who is currently on mute. So if you unmute yourself, say hi.
Hello.
Hey, Skinny Shane, what's up, my brother? Now he is the guy that makes this a funny show. He is our resident comedian guy. What's up, comedian guy?
I have a new title for myself.
Oh my goodness. Okay? We are listening carefully. This is live, guys. What's your new
JP?
Let's
JP's
hear it.
the only guy on the show that's thrown laundry, thrown a reserve during flight. I'm the only guy that didn't throw laundry or a reserve during SIV and ended up in the water.
what?
What?
So very true. Saturday, I ended up in the water.
Did you not make it back?
I made it back. Oh,
I hope he made it back. He's on the show.
No, I mean, did you run out of altitude?
He's currently floating with his cell phone right now on Zoom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what happened was I took a bad launch. My wing, I was flying Andrew's wing, big 35-meter gigantic wing.
Holy, 35 meters?
That's a tandem wing.
That's a tandem wing, yeah.
It was, and it was a very spicy tandem wing. Ask me how I know, because my very first flight, Andrew's like, something's not right with your wing. Pull pin and head back. So I pulled the pin and thought that this wing was so big that I could pull some brake, and well, I pulled brake and it did a 180 before I even knew what happened. He's like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, okay. So what had happened was
we can barely see it. We can barely see. Okay.
I'm driving.
Okay.
There we go. Here we go. So what happened was Andrew took off in the boat. I waited for the line to get tight, and I inflated my wing, and it shot to the left over the water. I corrected it. He didn't think I could correct it, killed the motor, and in the lake I go.
Wow.
Oh,
And it's about 67 degrees.
Oh, you got your cold bath, and that's good.
Yeah, I came up and Leah and another guy was getting ready to jump in the water thinking that I was having trouble swimming. Really, I was just gasping for air because it was so cold. I was in shock of how cold it was. They're like, you never even seen the water coming. I was like, no, I was looking at my wing correcting it. And they're like, you saved it. But Andrew, I guess when he killed the motor or backed off the motor to try to get going again, the boat cavitated, if you will. And he was just like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to save it. So, yeah, I went in the water and it was very cold.
Any gators?
So funny story.
I mean, it's in Florida, man. You know?
I'm at all not scared of alligators. I'm in a huge lake that has tons of them. But what had happened was the rope went underneath me and I'm doggy paddling. And the rope went underneath me and hit me in the stomach. And I thought it was an alligator at first.
oh no.
And I was like, oh, here we go. I'm going to get attacked by an alligator.
That would be a normal
But it was just a
reaction.
rope and it was all good.
That's
Oh my
pretty cool.
God.
But I survived, as JP was hoping that I didn't.
Ha ha ha. Ha, ha.
Oh my goodness. That was the
lost
best
you guys or
introduction
what?
to Shane. No, we're still here. So that was like the best introduction I think I've ever heard from Shane. We appreciate you. And now to our guest. This is our guest, JT Wardle. He is our guest today. He's going to be talking about a lot of stuff. Woohoo! In the house party. And welcome to the show, my friend. We talked for about an hour before the show, and wow, you have an amazing life, and you're going to be talking a lot about flying and stuff. So real quick, if you would, not real quick, as long as you want to, talk about yourself. Tell us about your background, who you are, and while you're doing that, I'm going to post the links.
Oh, very nice.
Everywhere that I can.
Welcome,
Welcome, JT.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for Linda for reaching out to me and saying, "Hey, I've seen some of your stuff. Well, why don't you come on our podcast?" And
That's
so,
right. I was like following you. I'm like, I'm going to get this guy on the show. I'm just going to, yep. So I just kept kind of sending little messages. Hey, how's it going? You know.
well,
like,
thank you. Yeah, we love making videos. I create the YouTube channel and got my Facebook stuff and all of that. I'm just kind of a slow social media guy, so I'm learning how to do things there. But yeah, click on the JT Wardle. I'll talk about some of the videos that I've created, and yeah, if only Shane had some video, that would be nice of that the water going in. I'm excited. I saw Sean do his Skylab's SIV, and I took a SIV here in Utah with a group here. But I know Leah, and I want to get do some of that Florida gator water, flying over that and seeing how that is. So I'm glad the gator didn't get Shane, but you probably had something to feed him anyway. Shane would have given him something to feed him there. So yeah, we'll talk about YouTube channel. I'm glad to be on here. I love flying. I've been flying my whole life. If anybody asks me, you know, when did you fly? I've come and gone through different kinds of flying. As a little kid, I got it in my blood system flying, you know, the private plane, the wing planes. My father actually was a World War II Navy pilot. He taught the boys how to fly airplanes. So he was an instructor. But when I was growing up, it was my uncle that had an airplane that would let me fly that as a little kid. And then I would hang on to hang gliders, try to do some hang gliding. My mother stopped me. I mean, as a little kid, I was always jumping off of things, trying to fly. So I jumped off the roof. Even, I think it was 11 years old was probably my first parachute incident. My friend and I had a World War II parachute, and we thought we're going to fly this off the roof. And so when you jump off a roof with the parachute, it's basically you're jumping off the roof.
Yeah.
Parachute's not going to fly much for you there. But anyway, I did lots of flying there. But I got out of it. There were hang gliding incidents that killed friends and people back in the 70s. This is probably 78, 79. Things were just starting to go in that, and all the technology hadn't been really where it is now. So I got out of that for a while and did ultralights, learning how to fly ultralights. Last 10 years, I've been kind of working my way back into it. Promised my wife I wouldn't fly, but then I had to back away from that because the kids got old enough for me to go flying, and so it's probably been about last 4 years. I got my P2, I got a P3 in paragliding here at the point of the mountain with Utah Paragliding, and then I took some paramotor training out here in Utah, and just have been the last several years been flying pretty good. So I'll put in, like Sean, we'll go out as many times as we can. So we'll get our hours and our flights up just because we love it. But that's a little bit about the history. But yeah, go to send me some comments and likes on the YouTube channel, and we'll try to. I've been fairly organically growing it. Haven't really pushed to try to get people to do it. So the quality is going to improve, and we just and I talked about this with Sean too, is I've been making media my whole life too, as a little kid with the films and stuff. So my background is I got a bachelor's degree in media production and film production. Then I got a master's degree in film production. I wanted to be a teacher, but when you have to come pay the bills, I got a job at the University of Utah, and I've been in IT for the last 26 years, a product manager. But that's a little bit of bio. I a little bit babbled a little bit long there. Somebody else take over.
Oh, you're fine.
This show's got your name on it, man. That's what we're here for.
You are the man of the hour or two.
That's right.
Thank you. I love watching what you guys are doing. I think it's fun. We do that as flyers. We like watching other flyers too.
This is my favorite thing to do on any given night, man. I'm what you call a para junkie. So every day of the week, I'm looking to either fly or talk about flying, and that's why met Linda on Thursday nights on Robert's show.
No, don't shut up.
Right.
What?
So
So paraglidingtalk.com.
Yeah.
And then you've got the our Paramotor Nation guys that change their night every other week. I think it's on Wednesdays or Sundays now, or
Yeah.
but yeah.
I've never met let's see, Dave Wolf. I flew with David
Strike flyer.
Trike flyer.
Trike
Yeah.
flyer. Yeah. Come on.
Dave Wolf
Ruff.
is
Yeah,
it?
Dave Wolf. We flew at the Black Hawk fly-in once. I love going to fly-in, so I'd be glad to talk about fly-ins.
yeah.
But I travel around a lot to fly. I just like to but it's mainly been the West Coast environment. The furthest I've been was Kansas, driving 16 hours to fly endless Footdrag. But yeah, I flew with Dave Ruff, and he's like, hey, let's collaborate on the video. And then after that, I started noticing him on Paramotor Nation, and he was trying to grow his channel. He's done pretty good, but
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
JP,
yeah, we love flying.
Now in Utah, you have a lot of opportunities to fly,
Yeah.
free flight and powered paragliding. Though I know you do both, right?
Yeah.
Which do you prefer?
So yeah, it's like children. Which
Trick question.
of your children do you like? Kind of thing. I
Yeah.
love
Okay.
flying.
Well,
I
I've never done free flight myself, so
they're amazing, both of them. There's pros and cons. When you hook into your harness, you got to figure out how to fly the paraglider a little bit different than, especially if you're out there thermally and looking for lift naturally from the mountains coming up that hill, or paramotor. Yeah, I would say it's a 50-50 love. I spend probably, I think our paramotor has edged it out. I probably am like a 52% of my time is on paramotor and 48% is on free flying. It's just that I've got these big mountains right behind me. I can go up the hill in 30 minutes and jump off. But right now in the snow, they block off the road, so you actually have to hike up, which is a little bit. You've got to be really motivated to get out in the cold and hike up that hill, but I still do it. Get out there and fly.
You've been flying since the 70s, you said, right?
Yeah. That's I forgot.
Dang, man.
Back in the 70s, and my attention span is so short that I have to. And that's the other thing, is I really do fly like I'm new every time, because I make newbie mistakes all the time, and I'm trying to go over my list. And I think it's a good view to, it doesn't matter how many years you've been flying, it's really new every single time. You got to fly the wind that you get, you got to fly the equipment that you're on, the conditions. So I try to forget everything, and it comes naturally.
You've flown ultralights, you've flown hang gliders, PG, PPG.
Yeah.
You, like you said earlier, you even were able to fly some GA with your friends, in the co-pilot. So do you do any more hang gliding, or was that just something in the past?
No, I've stayed away. The hang gliding was way back in the 70s. You will see me do it in my video coming up. Point of the Mountain has got, so part of the Utah Hang Gliding Paragliding Association. So I definitely would not jump on a hang glider without taking some more training. It's been so long. But I love flying, the different types of ways to get up. So you'll see some of my videos. I will jump on an ultralight, meaning a kit plane, and fly a kit plane or a weight shift. Those are coming up right now, but mainly paragliding and paramotor right now.
What other ultralights have you flown in the past?
Oh, the homemade ultralights. Yeah, recently nothing. When I go out to Arizona flying circus, everybody will have their and it is a draw, and it may be, and I may switch in a few months. You may see me on a Revo or a Revo, or you may see me on a Quicksilver, homemade kind of thing. I kind of have a draw to fly different ways, but I haven't flown ultralight in a long time. It's been a long time.
JP or Brian or Never Trust Skinny Chef Shane, have you all been watching the chat? Is anybody asking any questions? And who wants to say hi? Who's in the chat?
Quick shout out to Bill H, Dwayne Crow, Jordankis Garcia.
Your damn keys.
Yeah,
Ben
usual
from
subjects.
Paramotor NC, North Carolina.
Yep.
Ben, what's up, Ben? Charlie Walsh,
hey,
Hank Lynch.
my Parapeat chat.
Flying Flamingo.
Thank you for joining us.
Questions? I haven't seen.
Oh, Scary Berry Groupie is in the house.
All right, the groupie.
Yeah.
Cool.
I know, and we definitely need to have Scary Berry back on again so we can do the SIV.
Oh, he was a great guest. I really enjoyed I could listen to him talk all freaking night, man.
And
What
I
a great
think that
guy.
he's going to be doing an SIV course, hopefully in the first of the year coming up, which means
Okay.
that we can, all the people that have done SIVs can get together and talk about SIVs. So anybody that's done an SIV, get up with me at ppggrandpa@gmail.com. Let me know you've done an SIV and you want to jump on the show next year, which is going to be in a couple weeks.
Sean.
What's
Yeah,
that?
do that. Let's do that.
Hey, Sean, I'm gonna try to get back with Scary Barry and go back and do a third day with them when he goes.
That's awesome.
As soon as I get my new wing, I'm gonna schedule go down there with Andrew as well. Do my
Dude,
first one.
It will make you a better pilot. Oh my goodness.
And since we're talking about that, let's go ahead and do a quick shout out. And shout out to Andrew Fuller, Leah Catullo, and Jonathan Carr over at skylabparamotors.siv.com. Check them out if you are interested in doing an SIV course. Absolutely amazing. Since we're doing shout outs, another shout out to paraswagusa.com and Parachick Pies. That's Mark and Amy George. They helped us out on a previous episode with getting donations to Resurgence PPG, so we appreciate you. And also to Brooke Sheffield from smokymeds.com. When I was getting all sick and stuff, he sent me some of his products.
Snake oil.
Yeah.
And it really helped me
PPG.
out. I'm very, very happy. Shout out to Britton Shaw that's helping me get my PPG 3. Vortex Aero for sending me a new muffler, and also to Viterazzi because they make the best motors I think that I have ever flown. Well, since I've only flown that, okay. Their My 19 muffler didn't work out very well. I think it's still in a warranty. We're still looking at that, but good for that. Hey, check this out. We were also doing, let me make sure I got this up here right. We are also letting people, if you have a commercial, if you have a 20-second commercial and you are doing something for PPG, then what we're doing is we're letting you do your 20-second commercial here on the podcast. So this is Paralyzed PPG. He's donated some shirts and we spun the wheel. So if you're interested in donating some shirts and putting up a little 20-second commercial, we're going to show that here. So here's our 20-second commercial.
There he is.
Hey there, this is Mark McElroy with Paralyzed PPG. Come visit us on our YouTube channel, Paralyzed PPG, or on our website at paralyzedppg.com to see our selection of t-shirts, cups, and decals. Fly safe and God bless.
And we also had some other people that were jumping on here. We, Mark and Amy George, I didn't get a commercial from them. So hopefully next time that we do this, they'll have a commercial, which would be really cool. We also had John Hudson that came on that gave away a bunch of t-shirts also from True North Paramotors. Here's his clip real quick. Let's get, he's back. Here he is.
Hey, it's John at True North Paramotors. Also, our website, which will be launched later this month, is AmericanMadeParamotors.com.
I think that I didn't get from the very beginning. I apologize. That's my bad. Let's try it again.
Hey, it's John Hudson with True North Paramotors. We manufacture fully customizable, lightweight, cutting-edge paramotors made in aluminum and also titanium. We're also the area's dealer for Gravity and their line of paramotors, paragliders, and reserve chutes. Check us out on Facebook at True North Paramotors. Also, our website, which will be launched later this month, is AmericanMadeParamotors.com.
Awesome. So if you have a business, are you an instructor? Do you have anything going on with PPG? Let me know at ppggrandpa@gmail.com and send me a 20-minute commercial. So on with the show.
A 20-minute commercial?
Did I say 20 minute? I'm sure. Yeah, I'll tell you what, just go ahead and do a 20-minute commercial. We might trim it down to about 20 seconds. Looks
Hey,
like
I have a question. I have a question in the chat for JT. Bill H has a question for JT. He says, can or have you trained anyone to fly anything?
I'd take the fifth on that because I'm not.
Oh, it's like that.
No. I really try not to give my advice on flying to people. people will come up to me all the time and say, you know, what do you think about this? And it's, you know, I love flying. I'm not an instructor. No, I'm not gonna. And bless your heart if you are an instructor. I know Kevin is there. You guys are changing lives, but there is that responsibility too. I like to be responsible for myself, and that's what I've done. But I wanted to show you a crash. These crash videos get all the clicks. Shall I move into that?
Absolutely. That's actually what I was going to ask you next. You, in your many years of flying, you've had some bumps and scrapes. You fell down, and but nothing major. Now you did cue a crash that was over at EFD this year.
Well, I'm gonna go to one that's a little bit different. Kevin is on, and I think this is a good little learning lesson that I had learned. It's a fun little story. So I go to lots of different fly-ins, and fly-ins are great for getting crash footage kind of thing. This was a local little, just kind of a few guys making their own fly-in. It was at a private airport called Cedar Valley Airport, which is a powered parachute guys. The manager of the airport teaches powered parachute, which is, you know, kind of like a sister to our powered paramotor kind of thing. And so I had set up my wing, and because generally that's the flow of it, is I'll get my wing set up, then I'll go grab my paramotor. It's warmed up a little bit, and then I walk over and I hook in. By the time I had placed out my wing out, the manager came and put some caution tape down, and he put it right next to my wing. Actually, did he put it in? He put it right in front of my wing, and so because I'd had my risers really close to my wing, I thought, well, I'm just gonna go hook in and fly over the top of this tape, and you will see that the wing tip itself snags on the tape. So it was a nice lesson. And the video is horrible because it was a friend of mine had his little cell phone on, and I said, yeah, give me that footage and I'll show. But it's really interesting that it can be anything that is kind of in your proximity. If you're looking around, you want to think of trees or poles or even things on the ground that are approximate to it. Let me see, I've got this going.
Why would he put that tape down next to your wing?
He was separating that if you are a pilot, you're on the where the machines are, you're landing, you're taking off on this side. So it was for the audience or the guest coming. He didn't want them to cross this yellow tape line. If you're just with your family and watch, you're going to stay on this side of that tape. And I learned a lesson too that it surprised me that this thing, and so yeah, I had just bought this wood prop, and this was my second flight on this wood prop. I thought, yeah, wood prop, I'll use this in case I crash, and that way it's less expensive than my carbon at a fly-in. And there's lots of rocks that get kicked up on this airport, and it was dinging up my carbon prop. So I went to wood prop, and you can look at what happened there. It's crazy. So let's see, share screen. Let's see, I got to click that button. It's good. Share screen. And I hit share. So this is me talking about it. And I will go ahead and push play for a second or so and talk about it.
Because of tape. Your hair looks good.
That's that wing.
The footage I've got of the prop break is from Carlos, and he sent that to me on the phone.
So there's the tape there.
And pretty low resolution, but that goes along with the.
Are you able to play it again? Take it back.
Sure. There it is.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Sharing. Who would think that cheap little tape is going to cost me $300 in a new one?
Oh no.
So yeah, it snagged. I don't know if you could see it very well. That's a kind of a grainy thing, but just that dragging motion of that wing across the tape snagged that tape. I had throttled up, and it loaded me up and took me down.
Terrible.
And that's close to this one. This one caught me. A lot of my actually crashes are just kind of stumbles where you lose your feet and you trip kind of thing. I had one in St. George where I had put in probably 10 liters of gas, and so it's heavier, and the guys were running uphill, and there was all kinds of rocks and stuff to try to avoid. I took a big hit on that one, but I'm going to show you the EF. I think folks have seen this one. This was on this was endless Footdrag, and you may have seen this one's got pretty good clicks. There's my second angle. So this is another problem that I hadn't seen before, and this was a hook on my riser. The actual riser got hooked on the end of my line. That's what I think, or I mistakenly hooked in with a twist on that riser. And let me share that and show you that one.
So while we're on the topic, I just want to bring it up. I use the same, you probably can hear it crinkling, the same plastic caution tape as the windsock material.
Yeah.
And if you'll notice, it's not that tough to tear in a short section, but if you grab long sections, it becomes ultra tensile. And as you can see, it turns into a ribbon. That ribbon will basically cravat you and turn you right into the ground. I've seen free flight guys land into that ribbon, and it does the same thing as it grabs a harness or whatever. That stuff is ultra undesirable. Yeah. But it doesn't ever appear like it would be. I just wanted to point that out while we were talking about it.
Yeah, Kevin, that you just give, because you would think, because I pulled those apart. That's how you tear it, is you just say, okay, this is long. And you're like, this is not very strong. But you don't think of it. Yeah, if you're pulling, and that thing would have been, hundreds of feet long. Right. So it's not going to break easy.
Yeah,
but
it's pretty stretchy.
In your mind, you think, oh, I'll just blow right through this if it snags. It's just tape. But no, that's tough vinyl, isn't it?
And for those of you that do not know, Kevin can fly from kevincanfly.com. He is also an instructor. So if you have any questions about flying, make sure you get up with him at kevincanfly.com.
And I'm fashionably late. I apologize about that.
What happens when your motor quits? You just fall out of the sky?
Vertical, like really fast, or straight down. It's not the fall that's scary at all. It's when you land, you just got to tuck and roll really, really good.
That sounds really scary. You're up to 215 subscribers, so
we're getting up there.
We're hoping that a couple people from here will go to kevincanfly.com. And
I paid, just so you guys know, I paid 200 bots to make myself look good. So that's only 15 people.
Yeah.
Okay, JT, you were going to show your EFD mishap.
Share this another crash. And so, yeah, just remember, I put in lots of hours, and so I'm not crashing a lot, but I do like to share the crashes because I think they're learning lessons. So I didn't make that big there, did I? So this is endless Footdrag, and it's a reverse launch. I use, as I was telling Sean, I grew up surfing, and you get big waves, you get your timing right, you get your body right, and you feel it. And so I use feel a lot. I do look left and look right and so forth. But if it feels like I've got some tension on that side, I'm going to pull the trigger and go. And that one came back to bite me on this one. I'll pause it for a second there. So it felt like it's flying. The left side got my attention because my throttle hand was hung up. For some reason, it wasn't throttling off. So I'm looking, I adjust to the right, and but then you'll see, notice this riser is up higher than that left side already. and I think it was hooked right here, and you'll start seeing the wings start to deform on that right side. And so I looked left, and then I throttle up, and it yanks me.
Ooh. Ow.
I remember seeing this video. I think there was a big discussion about it too.
Yeah.
On what happened. So what do you think happened?
I think it was, I don't know for sure whether I had looped in to that riser through the wrong way, but I don't think so. In my mind, it felt like I had hooked it up correctly. When I was spinning around, I think the end of it got connected on that corner, and so it, you know, once you start loading up something with a lot of tension, it's going to hold. So it was just holding that wrap or tension in that corner, and I should have looked back right. I looked right, but I was walking right, thinking it was just the wind. I thought I was catching a crosswind launch, and maybe I wasn't running the right direction, so I tried to go to the right. But so yeah, I think it was a tension grab on that right side that pulled that right side higher when I spun around.
And you're not a newbie either. You've been flying for a long time. You put on at least 300 hours a year because you're flying every morning, every night, and any available time. Yeah. So this doesn't happen a lot. So why do you think this time it actually happened? Intermediate syndrome, or what do you think?
Can we pause the video at the point where we see the wing deform just before he goes off to the right? Because if we can see that, then I think
you didn't get hurt on that one, did you?
Oh no! I bounced up, no problem.
Only his pride.
And yeah, it was like, oh yeah, we've got a guy videotaping. There were 2 or 3 guys videotaping. It wasn't my pride.
Is that the Proline machine you sold my student?
I saw. Did you see that he had taken one similar to this? Didn't he?
Yeah, he took.
He said he was off the ground a lot more.
He did an oscillating takeoff at the coast, and he surged the power, and he wound up doing pretty close to the same thing.
Yeah,
I wasn't there. I got the story secondhand.
Yeah, he showed me the brake. It had actually broken some of his.
Okay, so if you look at the point where the riser comes down, it looks like it hooked on the J bar. It looks like the actual riser hooked around the front of the J bar and is coming up from the front of the J bar.
I know, it's crazy. It never happened before, and I think that what it was is the only thing that I could think.
If you look right below your elbow, you can see the carabiner. It looks like it's parallel the ground, so it looks like it's going outwards and then upwards.
Yeah.
And the way that the wings
your
deformed,
arm looks like your arm looks like it's in front of the riser somehow. I don't understand that. It's just a picture.
I wish we could zoom in.
No, my arm is over to the side. I showed this actually to Eric Farewell when it happened, and he was thinking that it was just my technique. When I was taking off, I got a frontal collapse here. He thought that I had just had like an iron cross position and wasn't really feeling the wings. But if you look back, I was feeling.
Click the speed button and play it at about 25%.
Oh, you'll have to show me how to do that. Let me go to the first one again, and so I can play it at different speeds.
Yeah, if you click the gear icon, you can set the speed for the video.
Oh, I did not know that. That is cool. Who told me that? Is that JP or is that Kevin?
That's Kevin.
Cool. All right. So
that's our other IT guy.
Yeah, I'm looking for I don't see the settings.
It's right under the red HD. Go left 2. There you go. Right 1.
CC HD. Oh, I see settings there. Oh, okay.
There's a gear under it. Yeah.
All right. Autoplay annotation, playback normal. And so we want it at 25%.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's at 25%. You guys are too smart. I'm just an old guy. This is the first angle. Look and see. I wonder if I can pause it. So
His arm
yeah,
is definitely on the outside of the riser.
yeah, it looks like that riser is hooked around that J-bar up high here.
Yep, it's right on the front of it.
Yeah, let me see the spin around. Let's see the spin around.
And it just didn't feel right, you said, though, right?
No, it didn't. Well, it felt like it was flying fine. It was flying fine here. Once I turned, I started feeling it turn right. So I adjusted right, not realizing
you just dropped something.
That was my GoPro being knocked off. This thing was a mess from so my GoPro. I had put it in a new position. That was brand new.
Oh, I wonder if it snagged your GoPro and it was hanging up on your GoPro mount.
It may have. The GoPro may have pushed it away somehow because
Where was the GoPro mounted?
The GoPro was on a clip on the first riser. And let's analyze this. Is it going to go? There it goes. So my GoPro is just here in the front on that left side.
So you clipped your GoPro onto the riser itself?
No, I think it was on my chest. See, you can see
okay.
the GoPro right there.
Okay.
And it was on my chest strap. When I flipped around, it popped off. So it may have gotten hung up and pulled that in a little tight. See, that may have been the reason, or it just hung up, or I could have, locked in with it wrong.
The days that we wish that we had a 360 camera on
Yeah.
our helmet, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I adjusted to the right, got my hand up to try to let it fly, but I'm always constantly feeling for where is the feel. So I pulled it down. Eric Farewell thought I had my arms too low, but that's where my feel was. That's where the feel was on the tension. I'm like, okay, I can feel it. I can feel it. Feels like it's flying, so I gave it gas.
Yeah, stop. Right, go back.
Oh,
like
yeah.
two digits.
Oh my
you
goodness!
Can see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, the difference on your risers are like.
If you go back just like 2 seconds, you can see it very clearly. So
further back, or is that good?
No, right there. So let it play. Let it go. Let it go. And pause. So you can let it go one more frame. Go play and then pause. One more time.
Right there.
You can see it right there. It goes right in front of your elbow pit and then goes up. So something on that right hand side was hooking your riser.
Yeah.
And look at how low that right riser is.
Yeah.
It looks like there's 12 inches of difference in height there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. So you can see that other riser is way high and this one's way low. But I didn't have the awareness right at that time to what I should have done is kept walking and taxied it out kind of thing. But you get seduced and you're like, I'm flying, and that a few more steps right here would have taken.
Oh, right there. You can definitely see.
Look at that. That's
I needed to look back
huge
to the right
difference
again, and that was a learning lesson because it had never happened before. Never have I, had that one riser. And so in my mind, what I'm calculating is, it's just wind was coming from that side because it was starting to get a little bit gusty and or switchy in the wind kind of thing. And so that knocked.
I was able to grab my screen and pinch and zoom in, and you can see the riser goes right to the front of the swing arm and then goes straight up. So it was hooked on your swing arm somehow.
Yeah. All right.
It's a good eye, Kevin.
I'm bored of showing the.
You guys can go pull up mine. You can watch mine if you want.
We got more crash videos. There's a hay bale video out there somewhere.
I heard of that one. I heard of that.
I've got one out there. I post them too. I'm not afraid to show that, every now and then I stuff my face on the ground.
Yeah, no, I think it's all good learning lessons. You gotta show folks the good, the bad, and the ugly, huh?
Right. And, you know, you did say for all the new people that are going to start flying and the people that are flying right now, you said that the best thing that you could have done was it felt kind of weird. So you should have kept on taxiing and checked your wingtips as you're taxiing, correct?
Yeah. Yep. And make another little checklist of I don't have this ready to go yet. You know what I mean? You've got to, but it's some, when you get used to, and you kind of can get complacent, obviously, when you feel confident, I know how to do this, and that really can kind of smack you a little bit as you say, I've got this, and you haven't, you know, you need to learn some lessons. Sometimes life's gonna teach you a lesson.
Well, I have a particular phrase I like to use for that, and I call it danger commitment, because you have to just commit to the danger at some point, or you'll never fly, or you'll never jump, or you'll, you know, whatever the skill, whether it's grinding a rail on a skateboard or taking flight on a paramotor, you have to hit that point of commitment. And I call it danger commitment, because if you don't commit 100%, which I mean you did in that takeoff, and it reflected that if the wing had been straight, you'd have been smiling and having a golden day. It was that 1 in 100,000 time when the wing gets hooked up something funky and you wind up taking the digger. And it wasn't because you didn't go full commit. And that's kind of the point that I was making out of this. Some guys will crash in that scenario because they will get on the throttle, then get off the throttle, they'll start oscillating, they'll get so far out of control that by the time they actually commit, it's way too far gone. So that danger commitment point is a real thing to contest with for some of us, because some of us fight it real hard and some of us blindly run into it and think about the consequences after the fact. So I always say being a good pilot is making good decisions, whether you can do barrel rolls or whether you can foot drag. If you're making solid decisions, then you're being a good pilot.
Yeah. Very good. Well, let's see. So let me show you some beautiful Utah flying. So we want to, I got to get off of that.
Is there anything beautiful in Utah? Just kidding. That place is awesome.
And JT, when you share, make sure you uncheck that box that allows the sound. That way you can narrate instead of hearing the sound in the background.
Okay. Let me set this preview up. So this is flying under the Corona Arch. And again, no, I love Utah. I call it flying paradise, but I love flying everywhere. So California, I'm going to have to come up to Oregon. I've been to Northern California, but I haven't gone up to Oregon or Washington. But you just have to look at any of the flying videos that Kevin's got or other folks have, and you just go, I want to fly there. So even Alabama or Arkansas.
That's how I feel about where you live. I see your videos of Utah, and I've got to go visit JT.
So I'll go ahead and extend the invitation now to anybody who's listening and wants to come and join.
Yay.
Cinco de Mayo is going to be Cinco de Flyo on the Oregon coast. We're having a fly-in. So anyone that wants to come is welcome.
What part of the Oregon coast?
Central Oregon, like kind of northern part. It's going to be at a place called Sand Lake. It's a flying site that's just south of a few of our free flight sites. So if you brought your free flight gear and your motor gear, depending on conditions, you could possibly be able to do both in the same day.
Wow.
Hey, well, he's getting us in there early. I'm going to put that on the calendar. Cinco de Flyo in Oregon. That sounds like a great place to fly.
And if you ever want to come out anytime in between, just for the sake of having a good time, I've got a location inland and I've got a location on the coast. So we pretty much can have fun at whatever kind of dynamic of flying you want.
You need to post a video on your Kevin Can Fly and let us know where all these places are.
Oh no, they're private and secret, and you can only come
hidden invite only.
Glad you
Right.
shared it here privately. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
No,
keep it
we-
between us here. All right.
Definitely.
We all know
Doesn't
that
go anywhere else other than this.
flyers, the community out there is just unlike any other kind of
What a yeah. You just said it right there. The community.
Well, I
is-
know
camaraderie
I
and-
know that you've spent time with a lot of my friends, JT. I know that you've
Yeah.
flown with Harrison and Heather at Point of the Mountain. I
Yeah.
know that you've hung out with a lot of people I rub elbows with. So it would be like coming home for you to come hang out with us over here just the same, buddy.
Cool. Yeah, and that's the way it is for me. Any of you guys coming through Utah, let me know when you're here, and I will fly with you because I love getting out, and flyers are family. We got one big giant family out there, and it just keeps growing, and go enjoy everything.
Hey guys, I have a question from the chat from Scary Barry's groupie. She wants to know from JT, ever flown Torrey Pines? And if he has, why isn't the location ever depicted as being flown under power?
I never have flown Torrey Pines, so
Okay.
yeah, it is high expensive real estate over that way. They're gonna manage that property, and so we find that way in a lot of. I'm not gonna, I love paragliders, the community.
So-
I will get a lot of. Whenever I show some paramotor videos, it seems like there are some paragliders that are only paraglider exclusive. They don't want anything that has, any noise on it, and they don't want our paramotoring. But I'm one of those guys that I like flying paragliding and paramotor, and so I'm not going to have to choose a team. I'm going to fly with anything. Yeah.
I do have the technical answer for Torrey Pines, though. So the technical answer for Torrey Pines is it sits right inside the San Diego Class Charlie airspace, and there is a specific cutout for Torrey Pines glider port that is for the paragliders. The beach is Black's Beach. It's a nudes beach, but California has an ordinance you're not allowed to fly off the beach. So you cannot motor on the beach. There's no private land to take off of nearby. It's a golf course to the north and a city to the south. And there's a cutout for free flight. So that's the specific answer to why no motoring at Torrey Pines.
Robert flies Torrey, and he flies Blossom too. So he loves them both. You see his videos
El Cap.
out there.
How far away from Point of the Mountain do you live, JT?
Yeah.
I'm 45 minutes away, but that's with traffic. So I'm trying to think in miles. I am, it's about 20 miles away, not far. It's just the rush hour traffic. So I've got mountains right behind me that I'll fly, the V and Francis Peak. But yeah, I love going down to Point of the Mountain, north side, south side. I'll be up there probably this coming week sometime. We've got a snowstorm coming right now, so it's keeping us off the hill. But
It's cold here in Arizona, JT. Have you flown through Sedona yet? Done any fly-ins there?
no, just on the flying circus there with Motown.
Yeah, you got to try that though.
Oh, I love Arizona weather. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Red Rocks flying. I've seen a bunch of guys fly out there. Flying around there this year. It's pretty cool. So.
Yeah, and we love watching the Robert Michaels videos of we've seen him flying Torrey and flying the El Cap, and that's fun. Loving watching those videos too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'll be excited when Robert gets that motor. So he likes paragliding, but now he wants to try the paramoting. So we'll see. Pretty exciting.
All right, so this is Moab. I'll just show you, and then I'll stop talking for a while. Let you guys. This is flying the Corona Arch. Obviously, the gauntlet is thrown by Tucker Gott, flying under the Corona Arch, and you go, fly like Tucker, kind of thing. And I didn't notice if I had. Can you guys hear me talk over, or is the audio? I'll just let it play. everybody is there.
Now, when you were going underneath of this, did it look like there was plenty of room, or did it kind of freak you out a wee bit?
Yeah, it's 104 feet high. When I was going for it, it felt very easy. It was all about no wind, so there was really no. You get all kinds of gust and you know, venturi and everything you can think of down these canyons, and it's all just timing. The timing was right. Was feeling it. I was actually not gonna go under it. I was just gonna go see, but I just said, oh, it feels right, let's go for it. And so then I went through it.
Shoot the arch, one through it.
So
oh, Carlos, that's looking smaller and smaller, huh?
So anyway, that's going under the arch. It looks big and small at the same time. You walk under it and you go, oh, I got plenty of room. When you're flying it, you go, this is pretty hard stuff. If I smack into it, it's going to leave a mark. So you in the back of your mind, you're like, I don't want to miss this. So you just kind of go with, there's plenty of abort opportunities. You just kind of get closer and closer, and you're like, okay, now I can't abort. Now I'm going through, and then you just fly it, and you're like, oh, it seems easy when you do it, but your mind will play games with you as you're coming around these mountains. There's all kinds of you know, and you fly your, you know, you fly your level kind of thing. And I know guys that would have said, no, that wind was not right on that. And so you gotta fly your wing and fly your wind.
Now, I haven't flown out there before, but it looks like the rocks are kind of unforgiving as far as trying to find a good LZ or an out. In your opinion, I mean, how many outs are out there? I mean, it looks like,
oops, sorry,
kind of dangerous out there.
Yeah, you're always looking around. So you guys know that we're spotting what ifs. I lose my motor, and just the other night, I lost an engine out over Lake Point. And in your mind, you're like, I've got gas. What is going on, kind of thing. But you already, whenever you're flying, and you guys know, you're always looking, what if I go out? Where am I going to come down? There's plenty of those opportunities. And I like to fly above the treetops. I will get up high and spot out areas before I get down low and go shooting and dragging and do things down there. So there's plenty of it all depends on the location. In this environment, it would be a hard engine out because there's not a lot of flat, you know, landing. There's these molten rocks and changing, and so you've got to figure out how to spot land your engine outs, kind of thing, and you're looking for spots that are, you know, 20 yards by 20 yards kind of thing. So no, yeah, you're in deep. If you're trying to go under the Corona Arch, it is up a canyon, and it's got cliffs on both sides, and up on top there's kind of bubbly mountain top. It's really no good landing, but you can spot land if you're engine out. But if you're looking for a flat place, it's kind of, you're gonna be 5 minutes away from that.
How many states have you flown in, and what is the best area to fly in that you've flown so far, that you think?
I don't have any favorite again. So the last place I'm flying, I've loved flying Jackson Hole. That was amazing. I flew both types of flying, the paragliding and the paramotor. Love flying Moab. I think Moab is way up there on my list because of it's such a kind of a just an interesting location that has got, you know, you're flying in a different world kind of thing there.
Right.
JT, there's a question in the chat from Eric Lear. He wanted to know flying Moab. How do you call it? What do you say? Moab. Is there a lot of rotor from the formations?
Yeah, there is, and it comes up really easily. So it only takes a little bit of wind to get rotor coming off of these rocks. And we have last time we went out there, there's a beautiful little campsite in BLM land area, and there's more flat area there. But even there, you'll get up in the air and you'll feel rotor from all of the surroundings. So it doesn't take much wind before you're getting bumped. And
what about being in the valley? I mean, where you're at there, going underneath the arch there, is there? I mean, if you stay below the top there, is there any rotor inside of there, or?
Yeah, if you look at the environment, you just in my screen behind me kind of thing, right? Rotors everywhere, even in the calm wind kind of thing. If I get close to the cliff or if I get up on the top, you're gonna get some bumps, and so you do. And I think that's what you get with the paragliding is you are going to get a bump tolerance. You kind of get used to being bounced around a bit, searching for thermals and that kind of thing. So you will get dead calm times here in Moab too, where there is no wind. And that's what I probably hit. I probably hit a period to go through that arch when there was no wind. And so I didn't feel, it felt very comfortable for me to go and test. Although up on the top of these cliffs, you can look over my bald head. It's just like just like my bald head in Moab. The wind kind of comes up and rotors around here. Up on these little hills, it's not flat. It is a whole bunch of chrome domes up there, these molten rocks. And so, yeah, there's rotor.
Have you taken any wingtip collapses or anything like that? And do you fly with a reserve?
Yeah, I fly with the reserve, and you'd take more wingtip collapses on your paraglider, and I think that's just because the conditions that you're in. My paramotor, I've only had a couple little teeny minor wingtip collapses on my paramotor, and they pop out before you can even think about doing anything. So, and that most of those have been catching somebody's wake. You know what I mean? Somebody will cut right in front of you, and all of a sudden you're getting bounced around by there. And sometimes some guys are more into the motocross kind of environment, and they forget that they're spitting a lot of wake off of their wings. So yeah, I've taken the little collapses here and there, but nothing. Well, my paraglider is where you start thinking you're going to die, and you get angry at the wind, and that's just the nature of it until if it's not safe, you got to come down quick. And that's why we take those SIVs on how to get down and take care of those wing collapses. So, and that's, yeah.
It's hard to remind yourself to stay calm when you're at 10 or 12,000 feet getting banged around like that. There's no calling quits and just going for the ground.
Yeah. It's interesting. Well, and I think you guys had somebody on your podcast was talking about what happens is once the adrenaline kicks in, you kind of get tunnel vision, and peripheral stuff go away, and you may think slower, you may react slower. And if you haven't been able to be calm in those situations, I think it was maybe Brian that talked about it, or somebody that they weren't expecting to be reacting so slowly, because it was you get kind of stunned into this can't be happening to me, or what's going on to me. And I think a lot of it is that adrenaline just kicks in, and you don't become aware of certain situations. So the more you get used to the bumps, the more you get used to thinking, here are my steps. If I get a collapse, I got to steer it first and clear it, and do all of your steps before you start yanking on things.
Absolutely. So you said that you have some adventures also, like Iceland and stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about your adventures?
Yeah, I was, and we'll see if we can get the whole Iceland in or not with the COVID. So yeah, I was planning to go to Iceland and Italy and do some foreign travels. That's still in the books. I love traveling, and but because of the COVID, we're focused on the US kind of. And so you'll probably see, I've flown up in Idaho, I've flown in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, I've flown in Arizona and California, Northern. And so, yeah, we like to get out, and we'll keep expanding that, and figure out how to get to that beautiful beach, Florida weather, and fly that.
I still haven't flown the beach. I still haven't, but I want
Either, man. I live an hour and a half from one. I still hadn't flown one. No excuse.
I live 5 minutes from it. Do it all the time. Oh wait, wrong conversation. My bad.
And watch rockets launch, flying.
Be prepared to get sand everywhere.
Yeah.
Negative.
Not fun.
Negative.
Well, I would say that's true, but it depends on your kiting control. If you have decent kiting control, your wing and your gear will be all right. If you have poor kiting control, your leading edge works like a shovel, and it fills your wing with sand so fast that you wish you could figure out how to get out of the wind and get it out.
You need to fly with your butthole open.
That's not
Leaky
what we're talking. We're talking the wing will scoop 15 pounds of sand into one wingtip. And when I mean wingtip, I'm talking 5 or 8 panels.
How would you do that anyway? I mean, I don't even understand how you could scoop that much sand up.
By just putting the wing down and then letting it slide. It's the sliding motion across the sand.
That's nothing, man. I know a guy that caught a fish with his wing.
I
snap.
think he netted it more than caught it, but no, like when we teach students at the coast, we teach them to pull the wingtips out all the way. So a lot of guys, like in a grassy field, you can take a rosetted glider, walk the lines back, and then fluff the wing open and tease it open from the grass, and it'll just kind of bounce open.
That's what I do.
So if you do that on the sand, as that leading edge bounces open, every panel that opens just takes a shovel load and a shovel load and a shovel load and a shovel load until your wing weighs 15 pounds. So you kite it up overhead, and there's basically nothing you can do as a pilot to keep it overhead. It will fall off on one or the other side, and you can step under and pull brake, and you can fight it. And then you realize real quick, I'm only losing a losing battle until I backfly my wing, flip it over, backfly it, shake all the sand that I can possibly get out of it, then flip it back over. Hopefully you have the kiting skills to do this so that way it doesn't touch the sand again.
Do you teach your students how to do the 360?
Not initially. When they come back after they've done, probably 4 or 5 months worth of kiting, I hold a kiting clinic every year for all my students at the coast. And then when they want to start working on more advanced maneuvers, then I'm happy to work with them and show them how to do that stuff. But it's not something that I teach straight away. No, it's what I consider an advanced technique to backfly the wing on the ground and do helis on the ground, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Hey, real quick, where'd Brian go?
I don't know. Every time I go to this screen, somebody's gone. Oh, there we are. Okay.
All right.
Ready to do a
I gotta head
thumbnail,
out
guys?
here in a minute, but yeah, let's do this real quick. So,
right.
Ready? Hey, fly a latte, Brian.
Wait.
Yeah.
I got
Ready,
the same.
one.
I got the same thing on my back. Oh, I fly a lot today. All right, thumbnail, cheese. Look at never trust a skinny Chastain.
I'm
Perfect.
posing. That's my high school picture right here.
That's a pose.
Peacocking. He's peacocking.
Well, it's been good chatting with you, JP. If you have to run off,
I do. You understand. I'm gonna shoot this thumbnail to you guys real quick and head out. Pleasure formally meeting you, JT. We'll have to catch a flight sometime. Not out west a whole lot, but if you're ever out east, we'll have to make it happen for sure.
Hey man, Southwest has COVID tickets cheap right now, buddy.
That's what I hear.
Kevin,
That's what I hear.
Bring your girlfriend.
Kevin.
Show her the countryside.
Kevin, I'm trying to figure out where I gotta stay when I come out there to see you.
I got a Kenmore box. It's right about your size.
Sweet. Extra medium.
I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Portland at all lately, but we've got like tent cities that pop up on off ramps. I'm sure we get you an Airbnb at one of those, no problem. They even have I don't know if you saw, but some of them have a garage. Even you could get some valet parking when you show up.
Man.
Wow.
I've never done paragliding before, but I'm not opposed to not trying it. Just so you know.
You've done it over at the SIV clinic.
That's not the same thing. We're over water. There's no thermals.
No, that's towing. So in order to free fly, especially an Oregon site, you really have to have a real solid reverse kiting skill set, because both of our launches are cliff launches at the coast, and there's no second chance of do-over if you don't have everything together when you go off.
Reverse launching, no problem. We do it all the time here in Florida.
Well, if you got good reverse kiting skills, then you probably have no problem flying where we fly. That's
keeping thermals and stuff. I know nothing about that.
Oh no, when we fly at the coast, it's all soaring. There's no thermals at the coast. So the wind comes off the ocean laminar. We've got a 500-foot cliff, and when I mean cliff, it's a vertical cliff. And when the wind hits it, it just runs straight up. So we've got anywhere between 1,000 and 7,000 feet of vertical lift, depending on what the weather conditions are doing in the day. And that's just soaring.
And how many people are usually soaring there at the same time?
That depends. I mean, there are days where I've had 5-hour flights and I've only had 2 other people in the air with me. And then there's been days where I was quite literally rubbing fabric with people on the same ridge. So
5 hours. What do you do, man? You gotta pee at some point.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as far as flying in groups, like JT will probably be able to tell you, they probably have something similar or the same at Point of the Mountain. There's rules, there's ridge rules. So when your right wingtip is to the hillside, you have command of the ridge. When your left wingtip is to the hillside, it's your obligation to fly out and give the oncoming pilot the right of way. So we do have rules, like rules of the road. So you're not running into each other and there's no confusion about who's going to turn what way. Everyone understands that the guy who's on the hill can't go anywhere. He can't make a right because there's a hill there. And if he makes a left, he's running into you head on. So the only option that you have is to have the oncoming pilot turn out into open air. It seems really simple, but if you don't have a conversation with pilots and safety briefing before launching, and I'm sure JT will shake his head that he's seen it or been a part of it, guys forget the ridge rules, and then things get hectic really quick. And then when you land, some people have more of an attitude about it than others.
Well, and yes, there's actually been some serious injury and fatality because of not following the pattern. So you have ridge rules, you'll fly with the ridge on the right, but some, especially around Point of the Mountain, north side, south side, you're going to get people that are just learning, or they get seduced by that air and they think me first, and they're cutting in front, and they're not, they think they're skilled enough, or they're ignoring the rules on purpose or by accident, and they're turning the wrong way. And if you turn the wrong way, if somebody's stuck against that ridge, they only have one way to turn, and you've just cut off that way to turn, then they go smacking into the hill. This is Point of the Mountain behind me on that's the north side. See you later, JP. Looks like he's running off.
Hi, JP.
See you later, bro. Now we don't have our
Point of the Mountain is still one of the flying sites I haven't been to yet that I'm dying to go fly out.
Yeah, it's a bucket list kind of environment. It's world famous. People come from Europe to come fly it, and the South Side. You can drag the gravel there with your feet and learn how to do different types of
Well,
maneuvers with your.
Point of the Mountain has something like what, 200 flyable days or something like that, is what
Oh,
I was
wow.
told.
yeah, Utah actually, is a high sunny day environment, so we get more than 200 days of sun.
Wow, that's amazing.
So yeah, it's all the weather and the wind that you keep an eye on. But yeah, um,
So
there's
you've been
guys.
flying since the 70s. Do you have any idea how many flights you have?
No, I do keep a logbook of my last couple of years, kind of thing, but yeah, back in the 70s, it was, a very sparse kind of thing. I was hitting a few hours, not very much. So I still think I'm under 1,000 hours. I'm probably getting close to 1,000 if I calculated. Oh, I was going to show you one of my favorite flying was in a kit plane, but um yeah,
So have
I don't keep a logbook for anything other than my paragliding and my paramotor flying right now, because I'm not going to get a private license, or we'll see. I get seduced sometimes on, I want this airplane, or I want this ultralighter. I'm going to make my own. I actually built myself an electric bike, and I know friends are making electric paramotors, and I'm like, oh, maybe we do something. So I have a little bit of the squirrel syndrome of all of a sudden I'll cycle, and I may just be doing trike flying with Sean here pretty soon. We'll be doing tandem and trike flying. You never know what we'll be flying.
Who knows? I mean, I'm getting my PPG 3 and going to be getting my instructors in tandem, and hopefully opening up a school this next year with a couple other instructors. So that'd be pretty cool. And when I do get the tandem, I mean, I want to also be able to get a trike and do the triking stuff like everyone else is doing, and doing the triking tandems. So much fun stuff to do out there. I mean, when I first got into this, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get into this. I'm just going to go up, high, about 2,000 feet, and fly and just look around. Man, I'm doing all sorts of stuff now. And now I can't wait to go to the next level. It's amazing what I felt like a year or so ago to what I feel like now. I can't even imagine, 10 years from now. I mean, JT flying since the 70s, flying ultralights and hang gliders and PG and PPG3, and flying, aircraft with his friends. I can't imagine what his next step is.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, right now we just love we love our paraglider wings. We love our paramotor wings, and I've taken up powered parachutes, been a ride along kind of thing, and the fixed wings. Sometimes I will start going, I want a fixed wing. The problem is when I start thinking about the speed, I think there's a benefit of low and slow, and your reaction time when you're doing 60 miles an hour. When I was in my 20s or 30s, I actually had faster reflexes. I am going to turn 60 years old next year. And so I've got to realize, yeah, I think maybe it's these paraglider wings are good. If you fly the powered parachute, we all know that those parachutes are not very efficient. You are going slow, but you've got a ton of weight. I mean, they're flying these, and they drop out of the sky actually a lot faster than us. So there is so much benefit with our paragliding wings. Yes, we can take a collapse, so you got to be really on your toes with the wind and the weather and what you're flying into. Don't get smacked out of the air.
I want to get smacked. Do we have anybody asking any questions in the chat real quick?
I haven't seen any new ones recently. Go ahead.
What's that?
Jane.
I was just gonna say I just looked up Brian or shoot. Kevin, your airport is PDX. Is that the one?
Yep.
So we're looking at less than $200 for 7 days.
That's what I was telling you, man. And you can put your motor on FedEx ground and have it shipped out for about $200 also.
You don't have a motor somebody could borrow and a wing?
Yeah.
Not at this point. Like you guys have been informed, the top 80 has been moved down the road, and I only have the one motor now at this point.
Top 80? That thing's not going to move me down the road.
Yeah.
I bet you,
dude, he's going to send you off a cliff without a motor.
It actually moved. It actually moved me off the road on an 18-meter wing, so I was impressed. Though it did not have very much climb rate, but it was enough to have me fly. That thing was actually a lot of fun for me to thermal, because it was lightweight and it was what I call old reliable. It was like old trusty. You could shut it off, thermal around for half an hour, grab the starter, bing, it would just fire right back up and keep going. And it was the kind of motor that you could really easily just let go to idle and sit and feel if you were coring. And if you were coring, you could just shut it off. And if you weren't, you could just carry on to the next thermal and midday it real easy. My Moster, I can fly it the same way, but it doesn't have the same feel. It just feels a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the top 80. I loved flying a top 80, and I know friends of mine still have top 80s here at our elevation. And we've seen who was it? Somebody had a trike. I think it was Carson Rodenhouse. I think he may have an Atom 80, but still 80 cc's. And you can get people up in the tandem trike with that 80 cc. It's incredible. But
yeah, it's more about the wing than it is about the motor, or the conditions, I should say. So if you have the right favorable conditions, you can get off the ground real easy.
Yeah, but the mini plane is a nice little engine, but the
Atom sadly killed it.
yeah, that's well, and we like to see competition. We want to see, I think it's fun to see where it's going to go with the American-made paramotors and
so I have to ask, with all of your years of experience, what is your favorite means of floating around the sky? Do you prefer paragliding? Do you prefer paramotoring? Do you prefer an ultralight or a hang glider? If you could wake up tomorrow and have the best, greatest thing in Christmas tree, what would it be?
Yeah. I think the paramotor edges it out just barely. I love paragliding, flying, but if it came to twisting my arm to choose just one, you have more versatility and options to fly with the paramotor. And and so I love flying that paramotor, and and we're all in the same boat too. You get those experiences, and I'm one of those guys that I have those magical experiences where I get tears in my eyes. I'm flying up there, being at one with everything. Just can't imagine, the dream of flying. When I was a little kid, I used to have dreams of flapping my arms and flying, and so just feeling that experience. And I'm up there talking to ancestors and feeling like you're one with the world, and it's just, there's nothing like it. And you can cut your engine off and just float if you want, So
it always makes me feel like I'm a Marvel character. It's like the wing is my cape. The wing is my cape, and my superpower is flying.
Yeah.
Mark H in the chat said, which do you do more, foot or wheel flight?
It's feet right now. I'm using my feet as long as I can. I'm trying to stay healthy and trying to, we know the knees are going to go bad one of these days, and wheels, but I've been pushing off the whole wheel concept. we'll fly those wheels, but I like to use the body, and it's a different experience when it's just you and as little around you as you can, and you're flying like a bird. It's that bird feeling.
And it is 8:30 now. We still got about 30 minutes if you are still able to chat. And after we're done chatting, we're going to jump in and go on a after party. And the after party, I am posting that in the chat right now. You guys can jump in anytime that you want to. So I'm going to paste that there. That is just our after party. That is not this one that's currently recording. So you guys can jump in and chat with yourselves. As soon as we're done here, we're going to jump on that one. Do you guys see it in the chat? Did it work?
Yeah, I
There
see
it
it.
is. All right. So if you guys need to go or anything, we can wrap this up. But if you guys are still good, we can still keep on going. Whatever you guys want to do.
We know how many
good.
people we got. People, I'm good for chatting and talking as long as you want. We know, is it just us or is there other people watching? We
the after show in case people have questions.
It's just us right now. I mean, and the entire internet. So be careful about this.
We got people watching live. There's 25 in the chat right now.
Wait a minute. We're on the internet. That means that I can say things that are factual that people will believe.
We're on the
everyone
line.
Everyone knows when you hear it on the internet, it has to be true.
That's right. I got to do one thing. Yay for the chatters! Yay!
Yay for the
I love my
chatters.
Let's see. I got another video I can show you. Don't you love? So yes, you got to follow the FAA rules on when you're flying, but don't you love being near those clouds? And when you get that magical moment where you are kicking a cloud, there's nothing like it.
The class G crack is my absolute favorite if I fly inland. If I'm flying at the coast, there's other enjoyments, but if I'm inland, the class G clouds are probably some of the most spiritual things to fly around.
JT, I have a question for you.
Sure.
What's the highest you've been on a paramotor and a paraglider?
And also, how about your altitude?
Well, I never know what altitude I'm at, kind of thing. That's a mood question, but I haven't gone over 13,000. It's stuck in my mind that I need oxygen and I don't want to get dizzy as I'm getting older, kind of thing. Our altitude here is 4,000 feet where I live. We'll go up the hill behind me and launch at 6,000. I've gone and launched at 9,000 Francis Peak. And then this summer I went and got the highest launch. I'm trying to think. We actually launched paragliding. I may be lying here because I can't remember, but I think it was 11,000 feet. We launched off the mountain there.
Where was that?
That is Mount Edna, just south of Monroe, Utah. You can look it up. Maybe they'll show what the peak is. It's the highest transmitter in Utah. So there was some antennas up there. It's so cool that you can find these little crystals on the ground, and so beautiful up there. But
you made a video about that, right? I think I saw your video on it.
I think so. Well, I've got more coming, so I'm going to do that fly-in. I haven't done the unofficial. I may have done a little teaser on that fly-in.
The video about the tram that carried the guys up the hill.
Oh yeah, that was a different one. That's Farnsworth Peak. Yeah.
But that was really interesting. I was stoked on watching that video. It was like, not only do we get paramotor, but we get a little glimpse of some educational information involved. Like that was really, really cool. I like that.
I need to do more of that. Give folks some information and entertainment kind of thing.
Oh, for sure. Because I don't mean to downplay anybody who's making paramotor films, but it seems like at this point, if you become a paramotor pilot, it means you have to stick a GoPro on you at some point and then put it onto the internet. And it's gotten to the point of being repetitive almost. And the places and people who stand out are the ones like that video, for instance, where it gives you some content that's not just the same mundane, look at me, I can fly. And that always, I mean, at least my personal opinion is that is the kind of stuff that grips me and keeps me involved. If I watch a Tucker video and it's just, hey, I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A today, it's like, nah, moving on. I don't care if you can fly to Chick-fil-A or not. But when there's something that has some depth, then it really hooks me in. And that video of some of your series, that one specifically stood out to me.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I like that. And it is kind of a discovery. We like to discover things and learn, and you're like, oh, that one was fascinating, because I just look over and there's these towers on the mountain, and I was just going, was there a ski resort at one time? What was this? And so I had to work that out of my system on what's this all about. So I did a little bit of researching and found that at one time that was how they got guys up to the top to work on the antenna, was a tram. And yeah, that was fun showing there. Thank you for that.
And then I got to jump off here in a second myself, but I have one other question, and this is one of those fun ones between me and you, because we got to have a shared experience, but different one. How much fun was it to hang out with Kyle?
Kyle's incredible. He is a flyer and just a good dude. Isn't he a good dude?
I mean, like hanging out with one of your best friends that just came along. I mean, it was amazing.
No, he has got such a good heart. I mean, you just meet him, I'm like, hey, Kyle, and he's got no attitude about, and I'm sure that I can annoy people, and you can get annoyed by strangers and other people, but he's just fun. That was and that was good to see him fly with you too, and
we had so much fun. It was such a good time hanging out. I made an epic mistake. I was invited to go with him up to hang out with Dimitri and Max and them.
Oh yeah.
And I decided I was gonna stay and clean up the beach house and head back to the family instead of going up there. And then in hindsight, after coming home, it was like, oh, you're an idiot. You should
It's funny. So I was talking to Sean about, my wife is not a flyer. She's got no desire to go up in the air with me. She likes to stay on the ground, but she looks for opportunities for me to get out and fly and all that. She's the one that spotted Kyle, and she's like, oh, Kyle is coming to the point of the mountain. You got to get down there. And I'm like, I mean, I don't know if I've got time. You start going, and she was the one that kind of like, no, this is Kyle. You got to go play with him. And so I went down there and yeah, and it was good. And so yeah, we can kick ourselves afterwards. It's like, yeah, if Sean or Brian or Kevin comes to town, we got to go out and fly with them, because you never know when you're gonna have that experience again. That's kind of a once in a lifetime thing.
Well, I'm that annoying extrovert that'll text you like 75 times before I leave, and then another 150 on the way. And you'll have like 17 missed calls in 5 seconds when I get there, kind of thing. So you won't miss me.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it's we all kind of will come and go. Sometimes I'm introverted. Most of the time I'm an extrovert, but sometimes you never know. You're like, I don't feel like doing anything today. That kind of
We're only human. We all have
I feel like that right until I see the forecast, and then it's kind of like how people feel about fishing or hunting. It's like, oh, I don't want to do anything. You want to go hunting? Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Like, they say that about flying. It's like, well, I just twist my arm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, we got, before we leave, one more question in the chat, or actually it's 2 questions from Jim CR120, and I had a privilege of meeting him recently down at Aviator. He was just training with his son Morgan, and question is, have you had any family get into sport, and what is your ideal hair event?
No, I've got 2 sons. I've got an older son. He's in college. He's mechanical engineering senior here at University of Utah. He said, Dad, I want to fly, but I've always been on, you've got to have the passion yourself. I don't want to push anybody into flying, kind of thing. So none of my family fly but me. A lot of people have the concept of, oh, I think I would love to fly. I want to, it looks so easy. And then you see all of the, Tucker Got videos or anybody of the videos, and they start going, oh, I want to fly. But there's got to be some fire in the belly to get out and go after it, kind of thing. And so I'm always a little hesitant about when I see kids doing it. I kind of want to make sure it's their passion. It's not them, you're told to go fly kind of thing. I'm not sure if I answered that, but I think it was the CR8. I think I flew with him at Endless Footdrag too.
Jim CR120. Yeah, he's been in the chats for a while. Like I said, I just finally got to meet him.
Yeah.
But yeah, him and his son just trained down at Aviator, and I think he actually bought a wing from Kevin. Is that right?
Yeah, I sold him an old Air Design Bolt, and I gave it to him. I think it was like $300 or $400, so he could spend some time kiting and getting comfortable with things before he went down to Aviator.
That's cool.
Mm.
Last I talked to him, he said he was killing it with that wing and using it as his mud duck, so that way he didn't get any of his nice stuff tore up. Which I was like, heck yeah, buddy, good decision making right there.
So what's your go-to wing brand there, Kevin? I'm sure you sell multiple wings. What do you fly?
I am not a brand whore by any means. I'm a dealer for Sky Sports. I'm a dealer for APCO, and I have multitude of friends throughout the industry, Chris and everyone else. So if I need a gin product or an ozone product or a BGD or whatever it is, I have all the connections through the ways to get what people want. I think that there is no perfect brand. I think it's like a shoe. Some people, a Nike is the best shoe for them, whereas a Reebok might be the next best shoe for the next guy. So I don't think at this day and age, there's anything that we can consider that's bad. There was a point maybe 10 years ago where there was a couple wings or a couple wing manufacturers that people would really push to stay away from. I think at this point, everything's kind of come up to a standard that we can expect. And it really just comes into tool for the job, in my opinion. So if you're a more advanced guy who's looking to get a more miles per gallon on your cross countries, then we try to fit them into like a Luna 2 or something like that. If they're a newer pilot, but a skilled pilot, we might look at, say, like a Niviat Cubic or an Ozone Spider. I mean, it really varies. I try to fit the right gear to the student, not necessarily push a brand on anybody, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that's the right way kind of thing. But it must be hard for you too if a student is coming and they're saying, well, I want the best bang for my money. What is it? Or, you know what I mean? And you're like, well, am I going to push Nike or am I going to push Reebok? I mean,
well, my big question always for them is safety number one. Mm-hmm. So it's especially like when you bring up the Tucker videos, because this is one of those things that I love to laugh at, is when I get that fresh student who's watched 5 years of YouTube, who's building up to this experience, and they are ready and fired up, and they get in the harness and they get connected into a wing, and they get that wind and they feel the actual power of the wing, and it jerks them out of their shoes. And they spend a whole day, they put in all the commitment, they do really well for a first day student. And at the end of the day, they turn around, they look at you and they say the words, wow, Tucker makes it look so easy.
And ain't that the truth?
And that's maybe the biggest hurdle that I have with students that come from the YouTube side, is getting them to understand that there is so much finesse that comes into the education process that YouTube will never teach you. I mean, it'll give you the gross ideas, but it can't tell you how to, like you said earlier, how to feel the wing. When it comes overhead and your chin goes up, you ruin everything. But if you pull just 2 inches of brake pressure, as long as there's pressure there, there's got to be a wing there, right? If there's no pressure, then there's no wing. And that's when you look to find out what's going on. You can't learn that from a YouTube video. you have to learn that through strapping in and just feeling the wing and feeling the wind and working through it. And some guys have a natural talent where they connect with the glider fairly quickly and they're able to develop skills fairly quickly. And then I've got other guys where I work with them continuously for weeks on end, because I don't ever put a stamp on my training. Once you're into the school, you're welcome to train as long as it takes or as long as you want, either one. So your money is never going to be wasted with me unless you decide you don't want to return. But like I said, if for every student that's graduated the school, they're welcome to attend an open kiting clinic that I hold each year, so that way they can get that beach time in. One of the big things that I see is most people fly in calm conditions, which means most people do forward launches, and they either don't have or never gained the reverse kiting skills. And then when they want to go fly a place like the coast, or like we have here in the Willamette Valley, we get the valley winds. And so you can take off in 3 miles an hour wind, but when you land, it might be blowing 8 or 10, which doesn't seem like much, but 8 or 10 is kiting wind. And it's enough that when you turn around reverse and you have to bring your wing down, you can very much land on your face and get drugged by your wing if you can't control it.
Yeah.
So we want to encourage that ongoing education. We want to encourage people to continue to build those skills. So that's why I don't recommend any given brand, because everybody develops their own skills at their own pace. And so even though a guy may have been flying or working on kiting for, say, a whole year, he may still need to fly a Mojo. Whereas another guy, he may only have 3 days worth of touching a wing, but his natural ability gives him the talent to go fly, you know, say like a spider. So it just varies. And as an instructor, I think, like you were saying, it's my responsibility to kind of gauge and weigh out those measures to make sure that students aren't wasting their money on something that they're not going to like, but also equivocally, they're not trying to show up with a 19-meter free ride thinking that they can be the next Tucker God. So we always just try to find that happy balance, and safety being the number one balance to the element.
Hey,
that's
Sean.
a long-winded answer, but
yes, sir.
Let me know when the joke of the night is ready, because
is it a clean joke of the night?
I believe so.
Otherwise, we have to go to like the after show.
No, it's clean.
Oh boy.
Well,
are we ready?
We have 15 minutes left right now until we're going to go to the after show, but we're still streaming, and
I can wait.
And we're still doing still a family show. So as long as it's a family joke, not a family guy joke. Well, family guy joke would be okay.
Shane, it sounds like they're challenging your judgment here.
and the swear jar is still on the table. We're not taking that.
There's
off.
no cursing. There's no cursing.
And no innuendos.
Oh, there's an innuendo.
All right.
Okay,
hey,
go ahead.
In all fairness, even the Disney movies we watch now have innuendo.
That is true. That is true. I guess it depends on how harsh the innuendos are. That we're just trying to keep this a family show. That's all. That's why we're having the after show being whatever you want to do. If you jump in the after show, hey, it's on you.
So we'll wait for the joke of the night for the after show.
You're gonna build up that anticipation.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Now that you said that, Leah is going to show up in the after show naked.
Walter said, "Let it roll, chef."
Leah,
I'm going to go ice down some meat, but I will definitely be back for your joke in the after show.
Oh, Mark asked if it was an Amy joke. It's right up her alley.
Oh.
Let me take off on what Kevin was saying, and it really has to do with putting in the time, putting in the flights, and it's when I was a kid, I used to skateboard, and I was telling Sean this in the 70s. We used to make our own skateboard, but I was one of the first in all of San Bernardino, California. You could count all of the high schools together. There probably was only 4 or 5 of us that drained a swimming pool and figured out how to get air. And it was not easy. We had to put in the time on the skateboard to get up higher on that swimming pool, and you would try to hit first try to go over the light in the swimming pool, and then try to get all the way up to the coping. And forever we thought that was it, is grinding that coping. There's no way you could go in the air because there's no wall to do it. And then we would watch the skateboarding magazines and somebody would hit air, and then so people would try those kind of things. And so it isn't that it and some guys are going to have a natural ability to be able to skateboard or surf or snow, board or snow ski, but in our normal world, I'm not a Superman, I'm not a super flyer, and it just takes hours and time of figuring out how to fly. And it's all about putting in the flights and putting in the hours. And then even then you're still gonna land on your belly and do a belly flop and say, man, I look like a new guy. Why am I not running when I hit the ground? That's so anyway, that's my take on the whole finding what looks easy is not really always the case. That they need to realize you got to be motivated to put in the time to go out. And I fly in 28-degree weather, or you get the wind chill and it's going to be cold out there. But it's because you have a passion inside to go do it.
How important do you think is kiting skills? In all the years that you've been flying, is it more important to go out there with and do SIV courses or tricks, or is it more important to kite?
Well, then let me back up. It's not all the years again kind of thing. It's how much have I flying this week or this month, or how much have I put in? Because in reality, I tell you, I've got a goldfish brain. Doesn't matter how much kiting I've done last year or 2 years or 3 years ago. I can actually pull the wrong thing if I'm not a consistent flyer. But definitely, yeah, you can ask any of the instructors, and it's all about being one with your wing. You got to know how to be.
No, I'll openly tell you from an instructor standpoint, kiting is a perishable skill. If it's not something that you continuously keep sharp, like the knife in your pocket, it will dull. And then you'll have a false sense of security when you go get onto a mountain, especially a paragliding launch. If you don't maintain good kiting skills and you get up on a paragliding launch, you'll get plucked on launch and dropped on your back, get drug into a bush or drug across someone else's wing and piss that guy off. Yeah. It's just, different kiting skills, in my opinion, are paramount.
Right.
And if you can kite solid, you can probably fly solid.
Yeah. Well, and it's like you may be good in beach flying, you may have that down, and then you'll get to a no wind, mountain launch, and all of a sudden you're plucked and thrown down because you don't have the laminar. So you do have to fly in different conditions, fly continually working. So it's a sharpen that knife all the time kind of thing. And yes, you can have your checklists that I think are good to go to and say, I learned this from my instructor. I love that I remember to do this, this, and this. But yeah, kiting is key to, and even wings will fly differently, right? I took off my last Gin Falcon video that I did. That baby would want to shoot over my head, and it was just super fast. And here I am trying to learn how to fly this wing again because it flew different than my BGD or my Mac Para. And so yeah, you can cross over, some of your learning, but each time you go out with that wing, you need to put some time in on it. I don't know. I'm talking like I know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It sounds like you know what you're talking about, and that's what it's all about.
No, I mean, it's very true though. The easy way to understand it is it's like getting out of a Ford F-350 pickup truck and then getting into a Honda. They're both cars. They both have a gas pedal and a steering wheel and brakes, but they just operate feeling wise. They feel like different vehicles, even though they're both technically seats and a steering wheel. I think the point that JT's trying to make is that if you get into that truck and then you're not used to the turning radius, you may not be able to hit that parking spot like you want to, and you might hit some guy's Honda. That's the equivocation with paragliding is, if you know, when you move from one wing to another, the caliber of your skill changes based on the wing, and it also carries with the conditions of that day. A hotter wing might be easier to use in more wind because you can kite it, get control of it, and then launch it. Or it might be easier for you to fly it in nil wind where you are the one doing the inflation. That's personal technique and personal feeling.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Some people will ask me about, is paragliding similar to paramotor flying, free flying and paramotor? And I was trying to think of an analogy, maybe Kevin, you know, and I was like, well, they're very similar, and yet it's almost like, you know, mountain biking or BMX. I grew up actually one of the first little BMXers back in the 70s. We were the ones that used to build our own little handle. So I used to race BMX, and it's like as a elementary school, junior high kind of little kid. Anyway, like BMX and motocross or something. What is a good example of, well, paragliding and paramotoring are like, you know, they're similar, but they're different?
I say it's like a canoe and a jet ski.
Nice.
One you're going with the flow of the current and you're managing the obstacles around you. The other one, you have the power to go amongst the water where you want to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Well, it could be like a jet ski and a surfboard or something.
Yeah, sure. I mean, anything that it would be man-powered versus powered, because when you're man-powered, you're utilizing the mother nature, like you say, surfing. You're connecting your energy with the energy of the wave to make the ride happen. That would be a real similar analogy to paragliding. Because with paragliding, you're using the energy of the wave, i.e. the wind, and then the mechanical wave being the hill behind you as your wave to go surf. With a paramotor, it's like being on a jet ski where you just grab some throttle and go motor around on the water and laugh and enjoy yourself.
I kind of like, I heard a little bit of Brian. I think it was kind of like a skateboard and a one wheel or something you're doing.
Yeah.
That might be a good one. All right, I'm going to share my screen real quick and show you some beautiful mountain flying here. This is a snow basin. This is on the other side of the Wasatch Mountains. This is Snow Basin. I think you can
fly
see
clear
that.
of the cloud, which means you don't fly in the clouds. You can fly. There's no.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to bail on you. I got to go take care of some meat, but I will try to join you in the after show shortly. Okay.
Awesome. We'll be there in a couple minutes.
Oh, to be a single guy again.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Thank you. Cool.
Well, he's gonna go play with his own.
That's what I heard. That's all I heard. That's all I heard.
And that will be on the after party, so we'll hear more about that then.
He's going to tell you about his secret rub.
I'm going to come to the after party just to see if you can get. I'm a hard sell. Actually, you know.
My goodness.
When you get as old as I am, I actually used to do stand-up comedy in New York and Florida. I tried to. I was not very funny, and I realized these people are throwing things at me. I'm not making anybody laugh. I've done it all.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
I cannot wait to hear Shane's story, and this is going to be fun. This is going to be really fun. So if you guys haven't jumped over already, go ahead and jump over. All of us here, we got to log out of here and go to that particular room because it's a different room altogether.
Yeah.
But you guys don't go anywhere because we're going to log off of the stream here and the audio a little bit separate. So everyone that's watching us, thank you so much. Jump over to the after party if you want to. It's going to be really fun because Shane can say whatever he wants to, which he can't wait to do, of course. JT, thank you so much for being on here. We truly appreciate you. Can't wait for you to actually hear the podcast on your favorite podcast app in the future, since you don't do podcasts, right?
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
I have to, so everything goes away and then I have to get back on Zoom, right?
Yeah, correct. It's a totally different room. We're going to log out here and then we're going to run over there.
Robert does it. They're like, okay, and he sends you and then you just kind of hang with
Right, and the link is already in the chat, so we're going to run there. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for watching us. We totally appreciate you.
Thank you.
We are out of here as far as the